Hi guys. I wanted to send a really quick video and share a really quick story about my process regarding my father, who recently passed away a couple months ago. We were really close. I would consider him one of my best friends, and the process that I had been going through, from just hard debilitating pain to overwhelming amounts of joy and gratitude for the time that we'd spent together, and like who I'd become as a person, and what we shared through the process. I know so many of us have lost parents recently, and a lot of us to some degree or another has gone through loss, and part of that loss was through a death of someone who was really, really close to you. And I've lost people that were close in my life, but I've never experienced the amount of emotional hit that this one took on. My dad was very close, and actually on my altar here, this is Pops. This is the beautiful man that I speak about. And so through part of this process, trying to figure out how to keep his memory alive, and we do a really beautiful deep dive in this in a podcast with Josh on our Mastering Fulfillment podcast, but we really talk about the essence of how do we keep our families together. You know, Josh was telling me there's a statistic that about 50% of all families either get really close together or it pulls them apart. And when there's so much emotions going on after transition, how do you stay heart focused to make sure that the family actually gets more united, to bring the energy of the loved one that you lost into the new dynamic, right? It's not only a death of a person, but it's also the death of the entity that you guys once had. The family unit, as you once knew it, is dead. And now a rebirth of a new family unit, a new paradigm, a new path, a new journey emerges. And how do you stay heart-centered and focused and have compassion for everyone that's involved? You know, we all go through cycles. You know, this is just another cycle of us shedding our skin, the snake shedding their skin to new light. So I wanted to share with you just even some of the rituals that I'm trying to incorporate into my world to bring his essence into my existence more fully, right? And in the podcast, we go deeper about how moving some of these rituals were from viewing the body, which hadn't really not been a part of my world, to creating this beautiful eulogy for his memorial, and then to bringing his spirit into Day of the Dead and Dia de los Muertos, and the daily rituals of, you know, when I come here to do my really fast morning meditation, to bring my father into that, to bring my father into my journaling. Like, how do I bring my father's essence? How do I carry that more fully as I start to move into the world? So, you know, I think this is a really beautiful podcast for anybody that is possibly going through some death, or that has gone through some death, or knows somebody. I go through my entire process, the ups and downs, and at the end of it, we go through some really beautiful logistics on how do we set up our lives so that we can take care of our loved ones in the event that we're crossing over through logistics, and things like that. This is a really beautiful podcast to think about these things in a more beautiful way, without the heaviness that is usually accompanied by death. And I think one of the biggest takeaways from all of this is to allow the sorrow, to allow the pain, to allow the death process to be a part of the life process. And I think so many times, especially in Western societies, we push that down, and we don't want to look at it, so it automatically gets compartmentalized as, this isn't good, you know, this is heavy, this is ugly, this is negative, so let's just push that away. And what I've really learned through this process is, how do I bring in the grace into the death? How do I bring in the life into the death? How do I bring the love into the death process? And so, yes, it still hurts. Yes, I get sad. Yes, I sometimes wake up crying because I've had a crazy dream where I just miss him so much. But there's a foundational sense of like love and gratitude that allows the process to flow through my life so much easier. So I just wanted to share that. The link will be down below if you're interested, and if anybody wants to reach out, comment, or reach out to me personally, I'd love to hear from you. Much love.